medawase na mabo mabaso.
Okay.
Nsem-Pii TV mosomo ye mafamu de boa media space no ene nsemu a ebi no ante eche na mo de call YouTube ni ade a personally me follow mu pa to de be kura na voices ni bia patete senkofo aka masha mi hu no be ba Nsem-Pii TV na e wo honom
Nsem-Pii TV ni
Ejebo ejano nya ba bedru the NDC na omo hwe so omo be no omanya ye ti sabra me no kase Ghana you need chief justice substantive because they know a substantive you suspended no and then aba betu just say president asake no ti sabra me no kase you acting chief justice papa your friend say Paul his lordship Paul Bafuboni and acting chief justice. Now, as I told you, just some 1 hour ago, and a fellow so for Sukwache at the release, you know, about to just a president Asake Mame Saki Tokono. Now, lawyer Filippo Sebonsu, a lawyer Penny, or say some Chuni, and also a host. Emma a Kosi said you made the cost was 94.7. On Felix Kasai, after Felix, you know, Obi and Omanhene reacted to. Issue na ensem ho no mo de atodwa denti obi ene o man no muchirema sane attack and the law is the law okay so the law is the law there na say maybe aban kosesa na ne maybe kosisia ya no so me na ya no denti ensem obi no man na ya de tudwa about ma me Saki Tokono Saki president Asakini.
What is the law? If that is the position of the law,
yeah, the law is the law.
Me jidi say obi ade bibi ayawa enam ne kwan so bia.
You also have
opportunities to
ventilate your right.
So as to whether it's a precedent bad one or good one, I think the posterity is there. All of us judge here. Oman ne yechichire so oman bia so de mra chichira ubetie bi na so untie bi na so it depends on how de mra no chichire oman no very important mra eye adwuma na obi ehun se prepare yo atima ye adwuma obi anu a obekasa so I don't think that as I say when you be si hu konwa as oman so chance yen egiye brand ya daji bibiri fi say na eye dutwam emu owrem ebi si da na yem hihie say ensunsuanso ebetimi dia ba ye kema menka bia memo into the right question was that Nsem-Pii eye boarded and avoid onim emu dura eye sa na mo a watu ya na ono so ma a good response onye onipa afi no be sha manyo semase wafa baby si in fact this is the second time onyame na doma wasa betina akonya na otiso no nti enyadia obe underestimate and obe under the time of these days we win wakari tin wa set committee say monfa mra enye adwuma wonu wi o manu disem yenkenka de ba board tofa say the kasaba fo aka no o say bibia wi say Nsem-Pii say moni adwuma baby adu de fa wonu go na to wabra waso so ada once in the end waka no o man no hihye na be kire say o se fata ba maame na nka say de mini say o ye mranim fo panyin papa sa na de onim de osese oye ba ade bia ye bia no bi se maka se wodwene o man Ghana ho na oya woni se ebere beba anamontu bi so beba Ghana anamontu ana ye dwene ho it's very important say ade bia se Ghana mindset now there were times when people spoke about this plain matter and their descriptions that they are doing it for the country called Ghana. And genuinely, if they still believe that they are doing it for a country Ghana, that kind of renewal, any mindset na, any nationalistic no. All decisions they take biano, you just talk to her for suspicion and for other things. But I want to believe that we know as soon as you know but once the law continues to be the law, I expect that
the law will be the law. The law is the law.
Of course, Obi. It was a site example. Say Obi any Pakistan. Any can say Mrani Chiwa, so they any Pakistan, a man running for them, a man Chichuma, as a chum do a 3x4, a man for Yajim.
The law is the law.
Anna, dear, here say we have to move on as a country.
Yeah.
The Nsem-Pii what that to me to do what he has done.
Yeah.
In the sight of the law, say appropriate. So the country Ghana must move on.
Yeah.
because no more be ho obi ya sitting nkwada ya wi suku mepe suku kubu kwan the stress in terms of omo university adwuma opportunities whether omo ankasa anasa abanjuma ana krankra adwuma whether omo the proposal or exim bank na NAPE anasa all the other places na omo nya so asen bia there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be done.
For now, we have to move.
We have to move on.
The danger is the. The honorable Tobin Ekaya.
Yeah.
Says that to be almost so bad, and the acquire almost.
Why are we thinking that? That is not for us. Say a judicial, I say we are as a papa. I don't know how to do that. It is what we are doing now is that I did a Makasi and Kuntiano, and then opposite. Tomorrow has never been. Tomorrow, we cannot argue on those lines again, Obi. It's not healthy for us as a country. It is a bit of a bad message. I can say, Yoko to an amount to a bail condition that will papa or change whether you are satisfied or you are not or see mran or the other or chile more say opo stand assurity and see a jibri corner coffee now tell us buapayum or delay some lacronano and you must say who apply that same law but don't have that mindset to say where the buapayum no be the moment we start doing buapayum all the institutions will be affected. The church and among be to be ano where the buapayum there be emra obi se we ko yame do musu osu emra na ye emra na de adwuma it mean the principle am person nyina adhere to say today is applicable tomorrow if that same application is being done don't come and explain yourself. Okay. Don't come and explain yourself. It's like the fight against illegal mining. And I'm saying the last minister why are there? Because one of the promises the NDC gave us was that revocation of LI 264, is it 2642 or whatever?
Yes.
I'm proud of Attorney General. I can't message with you for. You have the numbers. Yeah. So the first bold step I made after 8 months of NDC administration, but take it here. Last minister, Eddie Akos dying age. So on show now on revoke it's our LI no. And we major because yeah ma who kwan say ye be kwa ye from a good day to know ye ma who kwai. I
remember saying after say omo amende contrary to the promise on me revoke.
Yeah.
Say I didn't amosi be revoke say an amendment na mo ba be and I think there was a promise say parliament resume here. They will take steps to now revoke what they amended. And the means no one more and a minute.
Well, be many problem. I say, ya man your seminar, you know, say no credit Eddie and him kind. Say Ghana who do the him kind. Say yan no cano enina party one brai woman, whether opposition or power. Then we have a beautiful country we are building. So Ankobani Sadia, Debia Dano, our progress and development will be politically based and reject. And then the crap Gobi. My certain examples be public service needs to be pruned because then a place for politics, active partisan politics. We see in him say etia omano ensise. It is a ampe to an amount. I'm a shekwa ebefa so the public services na edane bia ye amanyosem amretiana. Then we have a challenge. It will be bia Mr. Ghana for our levels of suspicion and mistrust. Yentity so be. It is a make us all the Juma on the Kwanswa. There's nothing like an away with the more room. They said MPK. With the show and all. But that thing does not help the country. Yes. Among your summer, initiate team said the one you waited, Messuminia Hona me bar. Messumet Trail say anything. And more mining train who. Hope you more mining train who. Among your summer, we bow some palm way free, we bought some palm way free ornament. And more mining train very dangerous. That is why I mean, per se, you did tribal politics, this and money, and religion, because a delicate situation. A man who you won't tell that. I said no unfair crana. There are so many issues that can be discussed behind the scenes. Surprisingly, those issues now a bit more trigger and they are being discussed openly with boldness. we should remind ourselves every morning that your Ghana Sasiwesu, whether MPP, NDC, movement, or whichever political party or society that you believe in, the priority continues to be that the welfare, the progress, and the development of the Ghanaian and its citizens are key. And to make sure that are achievable, and say and say you be a Ghana who do, and say you be a I am Sisia, dear Papa, my Ghana, and see a bay and was it, and see a share Casa radio TV, so Nibra campaign, and say careful about it, and see my kika. So I say,
my many honorable MP for Mensia South.
Well, my friends here, Bafo, and my friends here, already so obechere school dear no obechere, obechere Mrano, Mrani City, Nini media Mindam Street in so. The minimum say the law continues to be the law. Room for suspicion and mistrust there every day, but let's be real with ourselves. Mempe problem be say, and they apply law. I did apply. Yes, I didn't apply. That's what I don't want. But the law should continuously be the law. And my friend him there for umbrem to much remain.
Well, I quite about a to saying. I mean, based on the Article 146 process, the president is bound by recommendations from the committee. Committee I recommend they say the Chief Justice should go. President Enye Bonibia. That's right. And
Pacho, say Ushe Article 146 now. We catch on say President rule a procedural.
Yes.
And committee, share the merits of the matter. Once the committee presents its report, the recommendations, it is bound on the president. It binds the president. Say the committee sapa no moka dia na president onye bone but obi nyina yin said the akoso it was predetermined Mr. Wadama enye ne Mr. Okra dan ka simi kamen kebiu una me share na Ghana for na me di boni ani die ma wo mo into premier se be na me ni asindi aka kopim se ma beka the opesa me be cheche mo. It was predetermined. NDC for be power nyina almost one bomb Chief Justice omo ba ye amamo mu tu nyina me chere so mpuso mu Chief Justice and as say omo wie omo ye awie e predetermined. Na yema record ensure say a Chief Justice and the courts of the Republic of Ghana under the Constitution of Ghana, Article 33, Clause 1, or say, where a person alleges that a provision of this Constitution on the fundamental human rights and freedom has been breached, has been or is being or is likely to be contravened in relation to him, then without prejudice to any other action that is lawfully available, that person may apply to the High Court for redress. Chief Justice call Human Rights Court say the human rights should be seen in the course of proceedings. Human Rights Court catch and say only jurisdiction.
Wow.
Chief Justice called Supreme Court. Or call Supreme Court or filing supplementary affidavit. Supreme Court filed supplementary affidavit out on the basis that Obi said a flaw to Constitution. Obi say a bad justice for young court mama the justice. And why the court refused or turned its back on the woman, on the Chief Justice? This is This said the Nipaje, intuition, and in the world. Now, one here in Chima Becafe said the court, said the yes, a constitution or mine yet. Villa, Abiana Esiro, a predetermined, and said the Omanhene. Since a young Koyani, now a nearby NDC forecast on Bayama follow. Yes, so mobile. A dinner so much say or so move airline. Nsem-Pii. Omunye galamsi no anomrasi time omupetumi omukakire Ghana for say omuba declare state of emergency and I say aban no declare state of emergency on galamsi omuba ye bosumi nkoloni galamsi declare state of emergency. President Mahama eba parliament the state of the nation address or see people to Ghana from Bantie, Mabawa, 2 million. Idia Jumaye. This is yes, will clear more Juma, only no more Juma. Sebilen Koyet is state-owned enterprises and any state agencies na air power more. Ubi and I say tribal war, tribal conflicts are escalating all over Ghana. You moving Koyanim na. Yaisha Kwaya, Yadefaswa, and also Omobe Brenase. Ubi so by 2 years and finally tribal divisions. Any time there NDC person from the year 2000, Omo power, Omo finally tribal divisions. In fact, in the year 2000, there was a whole advert on television of Omo Kasa Kukumasakore. It said the other tribes, Asante Fuatu, Omuswotia. You need the almost surrogates. The tribal conflict divisions are almost farming here a better war position. Targeting accounts. They did that while they were in opposition. And then what we did as well. And the who wanted the tribal conflicts are blow up all over Ghana. You need to look at the Boko conflict and all. And then what would be a Boko? You're moving on. Chief Justice has said, Opian will be to me as a son. Yakosino, a serious, a almost share a better war position.
And you are saying, sir, despite the decision of the president, or no as a person need any right to be able to ventilate in court. And now it's over.
Remembering that, because she had a bed if you remember that you may.
Yes.
And Akola will try. Obetokano Ira Nukonama Nubisa Takobabo and I'm paying society the best Suanki woman. Mamma court say the human rights is being breached. We see the Islam air Koswono. The human rights near to Tunase. Or call yellow human rights court catch and say only jurisdiction. Which was completely wrong. Was completely wrong. So I say,
yes.
Now, of course, Supreme Court will follow. The catcher and send a supplementary affidavit to our file. Sabi, it's unconstitutional. Now, Sabi, and me, Sabi, actually, clearly, the man on one. Maybe now, the catcher, they say,
we're filing some applications for ECOWAS Human Rights Court.
Opening a human rights will call over back. You are so bad for
yes.
Oba, said you see one you see now on the side of the Uncle Baby. They say, more you focus it, you hold the government into account. And here more cast over yellow on your mind. Obi, share, subject democracy, we say yellow. And yet, a event in the process. So is except Bola Figure. A sending Kakran, so,
yes.
And then, Yama air also Ghana. Sabi, the people say, you both food empty before. It is and then, yeah, to be a community, a copy said, the BBC. So, I say, now, your mom pie, he said, Yama air Coswono. Your mom pie, say, Yamaka boy, you this year, no. Obi, she said, and now a branch here or yet more week station. Yet in a court. Who would you see? Police is watching law beyond the constitutionally sanctioned 48 hours. Yet in a court, who will send a court to this year? No. So we the bill, the Kwani Sarah, Basha Sama, there with 2 weeks. Say, I'm a democracy to you. Say, oh, now the court, you know, is the Omuna said the Omuna the custodians of our democracy. The court is supposed to be the custodian of our democracy. Now, Omu Dada, no Kusa, say, ya, send you Koya, that could jab it to a Pumua, said the Ojian baby. So I say, eighty Mahama Diana Akosono, you still say a Chief Justice Stockholm and an Antonine. And I know so a two action Kwanana. So I say, a two action Kwanana. A Chilaba to me Pafuwa, a Chilaba to was able to. Na dear no Beji Kumasi. Say, a Chila Judge be baby and said a bit here will be a warbane. Na nipa na koka chire Chief Justice over say sabi nipa so mesi ni say no me na say omo de NDC for na de ba ye ntiro sabi e was what that say na democracy tell you say na say na aye pasa na idatu
ba wo ka say na democracy say no that would then mean say if any future government would want to keep our democracy intact, they don't have to come to power with revenge on their mind. By that I mean, say, and what's a future government be as you say, where see and into your chinabin so no mean so me ba, sija or no mean so me baby, you know.